the yen reaching a 2-week high, are gains sustainable? Unlikely.
Well, it does look unlikely, for two factors. One is, even if the BOJ were to make slight tweaks to policy, I think no one at the BOJ is really comfortable that inflation is where it needs to be yet. And I think more importantly, they're not convinced that the inflation expectations has been raised in an enduring way. Sure enough, wages are slightly higher, incrementally things have improved. But we also bear in mind the other thing about the dollar yen is it's more about the USD JGB spreads. So you've got two tiny steps from the JGBs. Let's say that for argument's sake, if the USDs get away, and then that's going to start impacting the dollar yen. So really for me, in the near term, the downside to dollar yen, that's to say further yen appreciation, will probably come more from trade-related fears if it brings on a risk-off type of trade. And at least fleetingly, because that's not really very clear that it's going to be good for Japan, rather than any enduring belief about Japan's policy.
We heard from Mark Cranfield just slightly earlier saying that no smoke without fire. So when can that policy be tweaked? When can that be expected?
Sure. That's a good question, and I do allude to the fact that that the smoke is there for a reason, but we need to discern whether this is the house on fire or it's a barbecue. It could be many different things, and really the central point is that the BOJ perhaps is not fully comfortable yet, and I don't think they want to make any distinctive policy shift. If anything, the BOJ board membership has become more dovish at the margin rather than more hawkish.
Yeah, so Vishnu, what's the long game then? Because you mentioned inflation. We're more than 5 years from when they started this whole experiment. We're not even halfway there. But when you look at what they're doing in the markets, they're crowding out everyone else. What do they need to do to keep doing the number first, to get to the objective one, but at the same time not really just completely just ruin the markets?
That's really a good point. That's really the main dilemma. With the BOJ holding about 44% of all JGBs out there, that's really the elephant in the room. And what the BOJ is really hoping is that people don't watch too closely. You pay attention to the YCC that subordinates the bond buying program, and they're hoping they don't have to max out that 80 trillion, even though it's a hard commitment. And the game here really is that we're all in the wrong stadium. For dollar yen, we really need to be in the Fed stadium, and it's the Fed's policy that's going to move the dollar yen a lot more, as will global risks, rather than BOJ's policy making a very big impact on dollar yen per se.